A little over 2 weeks ago, I left my full-time W-2 job. Some would call it retirement. I'm still struggling with that word a little bit. I'm 48 years old and I retired early, and I have been documenting some of the things that I've been experiencing and kind of journaling what I've been thinking about throughout these last couple of weeks and the things that I've been working on. In this video, I want to talk about the 5 negative side effects that I've noticed so far in the first couple of weeks of retirement. So number 1 is guilt. This is probably something that a lot of people face, but I've noticed it for me because my wife is still working, and I think that a lot of times during the day I'm doing whatever I want on my own terms, whenever I want to do it. I have a list of things. I talk things over with her about what do I need to accomplish during the day, or how can I help her in any way. But I know that she goes off to work and she has to deal with stressors and things that are frustrating for her, and I don't really have any of that, at least not yet. I haven't experienced that. It's been, of course, just like bliss, and I'm sure I'm in the honeymoon stage because it's just been a couple of weeks. But that is one thing that is on the back of my mind frequently, is just feeling guilty that I'm having the time of my life and living my dream, and she's still at work. But she wants to be at work. That's totally her choice. I should have started with that. She wants to continue working for a while, and I support her with that, but I still feel a little bit guilty about it. Number 2 is giving unsolicited advice to others. So this is one of those things where you talk to people and you kind of let them in on where you're at and what you're currently doing in this retirement situation. And then they might seem a little bit interested. So you start, or at least for me, I've started to give them advice. And I noticed that I have to like pull back and just be very cautious about telling somebody, well, you can do it too, or let me tell you what worked for me, and those kind of things, without them asking me questions first. So that's something that I've had to really kind of just make sure that I am cautious about, because that can turn people off in a hurry. And the third thing is that people think it is temporary, that this retirement is temporary, that I'm going to be getting another job sometime soon. I've had one guy ask me, so when are you going back to work? And I'm like, I'm not. I don't plan to. I'm going to do all these other things. And he's like, well, what do you do all day? And I started to explain it. And he's like, but you're going to go back to work, right? You're going to find another job. I'm sure you're going to find another job. I'm sure you're going to go back to work. And I kept just telling him, no, I have no plans of that. Finally, I just had to say, maybe at some point I'll find something part-time if I'm bored. But at this time, I can't imagine going back to work for anybody else. The fourth thing, and this is kind of a positive and a negative. I put it on the negative side as well because it's something that has surprised me, and that's not worrying about money. And I put it on the negative side because I think that I am just a little bit blissfully ignorant at the moment. Maybe I'm not really spending more money than I would have. In fact, I'm probably spending less to an extent, but I don't find that I'm as cautious as I thought that I would be about money and about looking at how much things cost, what big expenses we have coming up. We're certainly aware of it. My wife and I, we have conversations about it, but it's something that hasn't been on my mind, which is, again, it's a positive and a negative. And then the fifth thing is I want to do it all now. So I made a list of all the things that I wanted to do, the projects, how I want to spend my time, and I look at that list and I'm like, I just want to do them all right now. I have a lot more energy. Going back to my video on the reflections and the things that I've noticed is that I have a lot more energy. I'm excited. I'm not overly excited, but I just look at that list and I just want to do it all. But I also want to have time for taking walks and biking and like the activities that I want to pursue. I want to do all the projects, but I also want to have fun. So just trying to find the right balance. It's kind of a negative side effect because I go through the day and I start like trying to make a plan of the things that I want to accomplish, and then I'm like, well, I haven't taken a bike ride all week, or I haven't spent as much time walking as I wanted to, or whatever the case might be. So just trying to find the right balance there. Anyway, those are the 5 things that I've noticed during this first 2 weeks. If you have any comments or questions or if you find that any of these hit home for you, please let me know. And my name is Josh. I'll see you in the next one.